Hi, welcome to the podcast Aging Gracefully with Julie Roca. I'm Julie Roca, and today we're going to talk about something that is important to absolutely every single one of us. It is one of those very elemental things. We're going to talk about food. I love to talk about food because I love to eat. I love to eat good food. And I wanted to bring a good friend of mine that I have worked with on several projects before, Chef William. He is currently at the Windsor at Gainesville, and we have known each other for several years. Welcome, Chef William.
Well, thank you, Julie. Thank you, everyone. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
Excited.
So what I didn't realize is that you actually worked very hard to become a chef. You didn't just put on your chef's hat and you were, just a great chef that knew how to serve our senior population. Tell me a little bit about your background.
So my background start with my parents. They own back in Puerto Rico several bakeries. And that's what I learned. That's what I start learning about food and mostly baking. But I had another passion, savory food is something else. It's different. It's what we get every day. And
yes, we cannot eat baked goods every day.
No,
I wish.
we will gain too much. But after that, learning with my parents, when I was around 2009 when I decided to go to college. And I decided to move to Orlando. I went to Le Cordon Bleu when they were in Orlando.
Which is a really prestigious culinary school, right?
It's very interesting because I'm from Puerto Rico. Back then, my English was like really, really short, right? It wasn't really good. And the school was in French. Everything was in French. So you have to learn, get used to English and also learn French. Or recipes are in French.
Wow.
I learned a lot of techniques, how to run around the kitchen, and basically what they teach you is the basic. How to follow a recipe, create one thing, and from that you can do amazing things.
Yeah. And I know that you have, because I have been part of some of the contests that you have won first place. And I mean, even some of the fundraising contests, you show up with your entree and it's beautifully put together. It tastes amazing.
Thank you.
So my mouth is watering thinking about it. In fact, I know you just won another first place, right?
So recently as Wednesday, we had a competition in Port Orange, one of the U.S. food facilities, and is North Florida Legend Senior Living.
Yeah.
We compete for a prize, and I got first place. Really amazing.
I'm not shocked by that. You're very humble. Chef William's food is amazing. Now, I want to talk to you, though, about a very niche group, because you and I work a lot with seniors, and I get questions a lot of times from families, because food is one of those very important things that even someone who is not mobile anymore can still enjoy.
Absolutely.
And so it's one of those very important things that families are very concerned about when they're looking at placing their loved one in an assisted living community or in a long-term care facility. And I'll get calls back regularly. I'll say, hey, how's your loved one doing? And they'll say they're doing great. However, I thought this was an award-winning chef, but the food is just bland. And the broccoli, there's no crunch to it. When I bite my broccoli, my cooked broccoli, I want a crunch to it. So I thought it would be important to bring you on and kind of talk about how are we protecting our people in our assisted livings, but not just our assisted livings. There's a whole nother layer of protection that comes when they need that memory support. And you are the person that I think I need to talk to about this.
Absolutely. So there's a lot of factors behind uh, meals in assisted livings and memory cares. Um, Only because we cook not just to cook. We have to follow regulations. We have to follow rules. Now the state have regulations, and the company will have different
Right.
regulations.
Well, and the reason that we are doing that is because you're dealing with people that are a little bit more delicate, right? So you
That's
may be
correct.
dealing with heart disease, you may be dealing with diabetes, and just a plethora of other things. And so now we're trying to help them to stay healthy.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about Legend. So Legend, uh, we do have a dietitian that they
Yep.
create these menus for us. Um, we have two different meals per, or two different entrees per meal. So we always have a regular meal that we have a bigger amount of calories, and we will have a healthy option that will reduce the calories, right?
Okay.
Intake for
Okay.
per person.
Like, for example, you were telling me lunch today. So tell me what lunch was today.
So lunch today we have sweet potato with honey glazed ham, and that will be the regular meal.
And that'll be a little heavier.
They will
Yeah.
be heavier.
Yeah.
So because even that it doesn't look heavy, just sweet potato and ham, but we gotta look at the ham have honey. We're putting honey, this salt on the ham because the ham comes already,
Sodium.
sodium. It comes cured,
Right, right.
and the sweet potatoes is going to have brown sugar. It's gonna have sour cream, and also it's gonna have butter. So we adding more calories. Then the healthy option will be the fish, Parmesan crusted fish with winter vegetables. That it will be cauliflower and broccoli,
Okay.
and baked potato tots,
Okay.
right? Now it looks more, but in the sense of calories intake, it will be less calories on the fish
Right.
than the ham.
Because some of us, let's face it, still need to be eating in that way, even as we age, right? Some people are still struggling with weight, and they still need to have that healthier option.
Absolutely,
I feel like that's going to probably be me, unfortunately.
I try to do that too. I try to keep the healthy option.
But yeah, so and then others are tiny and they need the extra calories. So I think it's important to find a place that will balance that. Now, if your residents don't want either one of those things, what I love about our communities is that they do provide other options. So talk to us about that. What are your everyday other options?
So we have, and this is one of the parts I like from Legend, is that the healthy, the other options we call it Cafe Select.
Okay.
All the places call it always available.
Always available, yeah.
So I have the leeway to create my own things. So where I can have, right now I'm serving scallops over risotto. I'm serving red snapper over yellow rice and vegetables. Also, I have fresh fruit with cottage cheese, grilled cheese, ham and turkey deli sandwiches, hot dogs, hamburgers. Those are options that we can add. And I can add more if we want to, according to the preference of people.
Yeah,
Now, I
right.
take suggestions, like what would you like to see on the menu?
Well, like we're coming up on fall and winter, and even here in Florida, soup sounds
Soups,
great.
yes. One thing, we do have soups every day.
Okay.
Lunch and dinner, we have soups every day, and it's all day. So doesn't matter the time that they come to the dining room. They can come after lunch, let's say 2 o'clock, and it's not even dinner. They can ask for soup,
Okay.
or they can
Okay.
ask for always available meal.
Yeah.
So that's an
great.
option that we have.
That's great for families to know, because I don't think that families understand that those things can be available at any times. Your loved one is not just locked into having to show up at meal times. I've had families that have been out at doctor's offices for hours, and they say, and I came home, I brought mom home at 3:00 in the afternoon and there's nothing for her to eat. And I say, hey, did you ask? Because there's probably something that she can eat. You just need to ask the kitchen and they'll help. And that brings me to another question that families often have is, hey, my dad doesn't really necessarily like to socialize, so can we just have his food brought to his room every day?
Absolutely.
What are we talking about there?
That's a great question, because a lot of people don't know that they can order room service. And imagine you being in a hotel and you call at the front desk, or in our case, you can ask the RAs, can I have a room tray? Can I have my meal delivered to my apartment? And we do that.
Now, I think most communities will have an additional charge for that.
Absolutely.
Just as they do with room service, there is an additional charge. And here's the reason why. One of the problems that we face as, we've got seniors is that isolation. And one of the ways that we can fix that, I think probably the easiest and the best, is to have people get together and break bread together. There's something about gathering together and eating together that helps people to bond. And I've definitely seen it in your dining room when people come together. You have some groups of ladies that they have their table, and they become the best of friends. And I think it's over the food.
Yes, absolutely. And also, that's one thing we do. We encourage people to come to the dining room. Now, at Legend, at the Windsor, we have a meal tracker. So we track everybody that come in the dining room. If we mark one person and we see another one that usually come every day,
right,
or someone that come to breakfast, never come for lunch, but always come for dinner, and we see, this person is not here at dinner time, we make sure we go and check on them, and maybe they took a nap and didn't wake up.
Through it.
Yeah. So we try to encourage them to come, go check on them, wake them up, remind them that it's meal times.
Yeah. And it also helps, so my industry is hospice, and it also helps to know that you're kind of able to watch what they're consuming. That's one of the key indicators for us that there may be transitions happening, is if they no longer have an appetite. I had a lady, and she was in her 90s, and she said, man, my favorite thing is shrimp. And she said, and for some reason lately, I eat 2 shrimp, and it's like I've eaten an entire Thanksgiving dinner. And it was an indication that there was transition happening in her body. And it was an indication for us that hospice is a good option for her at that time, because that's one of our key indicators. So when you've got your loved one and they're in one of these communities or in these facilities, and they're observing, you're able to observe better what is being eaten and what is being left. It's helpful.
Yes. And one great thing we have at Legend is that we utilize RAs, the care staff, to be in the dining room. And it's one thing that, as a chef, when we have new associates, I train them on why caregivers serve, why caregivers are very important in the dining room. Because we have a communication between the care staff and the kitchen. They are the ones that spend more time with the residents, and they can tell me if they in needs of something else, right? If they're not feeling well, if they're eating less or they're eating more, what they don't like or what they prefer. Right? Also, if they notice that one of the residents didn't eat their food, what options we have for that resident to order something else? Because we cannot, we take pride of saying this person got their meal and didn't went to the room, hungry. We don't want that.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the very vulnerable people that you serve, and those are the ones that are in the memory support area. I want to talk a little bit about that because I feel like you especially are learning to focus on that group of people. And you and I were talking earlier that oftentimes people say, oh, they're not cognizant and they're not aware now. So they get what they get. They don't remember if they ate or what they ate, and it doesn't matter. And you and I feel very differently about that. So let's talk a little bit about that. What are you learning lately about that?
So absolutely, with people with dementia and Alzheimer, one thing we do is to make 2 plates. We plate it, and we show them what's on the plate. The reason why is because some people are not able to remember what is a pork,
right.
a roasted pork, for example, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Or let's say a beef burgundy, because we make beef different ways. Beef burgundy, beef stroganoff. So sometimes they don't remember what it is. So what we do, we plate it and we bring it to them. What would you like to eat? Now some of them, you see, they get the menu and they read it, but they're not really reading it. They're just looking at the menu. So our option and what we do is just showing them what's on the menu, making the plate and put it in front of them.
That's a
and
great
they will
idea.
pick what they would like to eat. Also, one thing I always ask the servers in RAs is to read the menu to them. Offer things that we know elders will like a grilled cheese or like a ham sandwich.
Right.
A mayo sandwich, right? That's one thing
a mayo sandwich.
Yeah,
well, here we are in the South, so yeah.
they will eat a mayo sandwich, and you like, hey, that's what you want? Well, we make it for them. If they want more, make another one. So it's everything about also learning the resident, right? Once they come, we have to learn their like, and most importantly, their dislike.
And a good community will do that. They will sit down with the family member when you're bringing your family member in, and they will go over likes and dislikes. And oftentimes the families were like, oh, I got to do this. This is just another thing I have to do. Yes, it's so important to making the experience of your loved one the best it can possibly be, because they may not be able to communicate that with us anymore. However, I did have one family once. I sat down and did all that discovery with them, and they said, oh, mom's been a vegetarian for years and years, like as long as they were alive. But when given the option, she chose meat a lot.
I have stories about that too.
And relished it. And
yes.
The family was very upset about it. But in reality, that's where she was today. And she wanted the tuna fish and enjoyed it. And so the family was a little bit horrified, but we said she has the right to be able to change her mind. Now, in especially memory care situations where swallowing may be an issue, sometimes we have to alter the menu a little bit. So let's talk about the different kinds of diets. We've got mechanical soft and puree and
non-salt added, non-sugar added.
Yes.
So diets are regulated by companies, right? Also regulated by the dietitian. The companies will decide which kind of diet they want to serve to the residents, the customer, if we can call it. Now, at Legend, we only serve like the puree diets, mechanical soft or texture modification, no salt added, and no sugar added. Now, sadly, we don't recognize gluten-free or diabetic diets. We don't.
And many facilities don't, because to have a gluten-free diet, it's my understanding, like you can't even cook on the same pots and pans, right?
Yeah.
So that makes it very difficult.
You know, anything with flour, you are in the kitchen where there's vents on the ceiling.
Right, vents
and the air can blow a little bit of flour. It can kill someone, right? It could be really dangerous. Same is for seafood allergies and things like that. Now, we're very cautious when someone comes. We make sure they they specify which kind of allergies they have. Very important.
Yeah.
At Legend, when we do puree, we do need to have a doctor know. That's very important
Yes.
for us to be able to do those kind of diets.
Yes. You have to have one to put someone on a puree diet.
Absolutely.
I have family members that get very angry sometimes that their loved one is on the puree diet, but you also have to have a prescription to get them off of that diet.
Absolutely.
And that comes how? Can they ask for some kind of a study?
Yes, they can ask. The communication start with the nurse. They can always ask the nurse first to do the assessment. The nurse will communicate with the doctor, and they will do a referral for a swallowing test.
Okay.
Now, something really funny that it happened to me every day, and a lot of people say, "Oh, puree diet, you eating that?" Now, the key to know which puree diet you're making is good is for the chef to taste it.
God bless you.
I taste every single meal, because if you know you're doing it right, why you'll be scared of tasting it?
And honestly, you think about it, there's some soups that I absolutely love, and it's basically
puree.
just puree.
Correct.
However, I have seen some very unappetizing things. To me, like liver and onions is nasty by itself, but you puree that, and
Yes.
it just makes me want to gag.
Yeah, so now I have funny puree diets. Like, can you make me a turkey deli sandwich puree? Right? I want a hamburger puree.
Really?
So you puree.
Okay.
Now, very important thing that you puree food not just with water. Water had its place in food, but not just on puree.
Oh, I'm a milk girl. I can make a pureed cake out of milk.
So at Legend, we puree with chicken broth, beef broth,
Okay.
or fish consomme with flavor, right?
Yep.
We don't want to, the water will take away the flavor of the food. And then that's when it comes to complaint.
Yes.
My food it doesn't taste not even like fish.
Right.
It's nasty.
Yeah. No,
right?
that makes absolute sense.
And puree is not just, imagine a baby food. When you buy baby food, it looks good on the can, on the bottle, right? On the can. Same thing with the puree diet. When we do puree diet, we make it as like a baby food.
Yes, yeah.
Now, we don't call it that way, but
No, but that is essentially, that's kind of what it is. And I think that that's a great tip even for family members that are in the home that are trying to care for their loved one, is to use other things to puree. Don't just water it down.
yeah,
'cause-
water take everything from it. Nutrients,
you're
vitamins, take everything.
Yeah, you're right. Well, thank you for sharing that for sure.
Also milk.
Yeah,
Whole milk.
Oh,
Don't use
I can puree
2%
any
milk.
dessert with some milk.
Good milk, yeah. that add nutrient to those residents.
True, that's true. Yeah. Well, was there anything else that you could think of today that we should just really share about the dietary side of things in assisted living, in skilled nursing facilities? It usually applies the same, or even a tip that a caregiver might be able to use in the home?
Well, very important with whoever caregivers or dietary aid work with elders with Alzheimer or dementia. Be patient. That's the key. Understand that they have a disease, and sometimes they will not react as fast as you wish they do.
Yeah.
They probably don't remember how the food looked like, and that's why they don't want to order it.
You're right.
Even that the food is good. Be patient. Give them option. And that's very important. And always try to look for something that you know is going to be healthier for them and nutritious.
Yes.
Not just give them
Yeah.
peanut butter sandwich or just cookies because you don't know what they want.
Because every bite is important at that point.
Absolutely.
We want to try and get them to eat.
You know, they need from us. There's a reason why they are there, and we are in this career, this environment, because they need us. We love,
Yeah.
what we do.
Yeah, we do. We
This
do
is
love
not
what we
just
do.
a job.
Yep. Yep. We're passionate about it. And that's why I'm glad that you came on today. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, William. And thank you
Absolutely.
to our audience. If you haven't taken a minute yet to like this podcast, I wish that you would, and subscribe. And please do share it with others. Thanks so much.
Thank you.